What is up, everyone? It is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Today is a super exciting video because today I'm going to be talking about some major differences between high school and college, which will definitely help your transition going from high school to college. So if you're new to my channel, hello, my name is Rachel. I graduated from UC Berkeley in May 2020, where I double majored in cognitive science and legal studies. And now, post-grad, I am currently working full-time at a law firm. And so if you are an incoming student or a student applying to colleges this cycle, you should definitely check out Study Hall College Consulting. It's a team of myself and other UC Berkeley students where we specialize in reviewing college application essays and consulting one-on-one with students and parents. So definitely check out all of our social medias and website. On our website, we have a free blog where we post weekly advice, and on our social medias, we post a ton of tips and tricks. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So the first major difference between high school and college would be the timing. So typically for high school, you're in school all day. For me, I had high school from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. every single day. You have all of your classes back to back to back, and then after school ends, you might go directly into a sport or other after school clubs activities. Versus in college, you have the freedom to choose your own schedule, so you may have classes in the morning or afternoon or nighttime or all three of those periods of the day, but it's unlike high school because you wouldn't have class from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. unless you created your schedule that way. And another difference, even though you ended high school at 2 p.m., a lot of college classes you might have at like 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. or even have classes at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. in the evening. Another difference with timing would be in high school, you might take 6 or 7 classes for an entire year, versus in college, you're probably taking 4 or 5 classes for a couple months, which would be split into like a semester or a quarter. If you wanted more information about the semester system versus quarter system in colleges, I'll have a video that a fellow Study Hall College Consulting member created on that topic linked down below. So I would say these college classes are faster paced because you have less weeks to get through all of the material. Similarly, with timing, you might be taking the same 5 classes every single day, Monday through Friday, versus in college, the classes are more staggered, so you probably won't have a class every single day, but it's more like Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, a class meets, or Tuesdays and Thursdays, a class meets. But sometimes you may still have classes that meet every single day, so that would be more like high school, having those classes every single day. The next major difference between high school and college would be class sizes. So in high school, you're probably used to classes of like 20 or 30 students in them, which is very, very different from college, because if you go to any medium or large sized college, you are probably going to have big introductory classes that could have 200 to 500 to even over 1,000 students in them, which is way more than the 20 or 30 that you're probably used to from high school. In your high school classes, you probably knew everyone else in your class because it's only a handful of people, versus in these large college lectures, you definitely won't know every single person in a 100+ seat lecture. And so with this, a lot of classes in college also have something called a discussion section, which is in addition to the lecture taught by the professor, but the discussion section is led by a TA, or at Berkeley, it's called a GSI, also known as Graduate Student Instructor. And so these discussion sections are more similar to your high school classes because these discussions only have like 20 or 30 people in them. With classes in your large college lectures, usually they're not taking attendance. For some of these classes, like I mentioned in my waitlist video and other Berkeley related videos, these professors may be taking attendance the first few weeks of school to narrow down the waitlist for the class, but after that, professors really don't take attendance in lecture. For discussion sections, the GSIs may still take attendance for your participation grade, but for other discussions, they might not be mandatory, and in that case, they're not taking attendance. Versus in high school, your high school teachers are always taking attendance every single day. If you missed too many days of high school, that becomes a problem. Versus in college, nobody really knows if you're there or not, especially if attendance isn't mandatory. You're free to go to class and leave class whenever you like. You also, in college, don't need to ask to go to the bathroom in these large lectures, but you would just get up and go to the bathroom and then come back to class. So I would definitely say that these college lectures feel a lot more impersonal than high school classes, because in college, especially at larger colleges, you are literally just one face in a sea of many faces in these classes. The next major difference between high school and college would be in terms of the homework that you're getting. So with homework in high school, your high school teachers might be assigning homework every single day, and it's like written on the chalkboard and you'd have to write the homework down and then it gets erased every day. And with this high school homework, the teacher might be checking your homework every day for completion. They might ask you to turn the homework in every single day. But in college, in terms of homeworks, projects, assignments, it's not like they're going to be writing the homework down on the board every single day, but usually it's up to you to follow the syllabus and follow all of the homeworks, projects, assignments listed in the syllabus. So the syllabus is usually given out the first week of school, typically the first day of class, and it will list everything that you need to do for the entire semester. So when I got my syllabus, I would always write every deadline down, homework down in my agenda planner so I could really visualize the semester ahead. That's a really big difference because in college, it's more up to you to do the work. Nobody is hand-holding you. Nobody is going to scold you for not doing the homework, versus in high school, your teacher might scold you or your parents may scold you. But in college, if the work is getting graded and you don't do it, the only person that will suffer is you and your grade. Another difference with homework, in high school, a lot of your homework gets turned in or is graded, but in college, a lot of the homework that you're doing might not even be turned in, it might not be graded, it's more of an assignment for you to do without getting any kind of grade for it. So for example, a lot of classes might assign readings for you to do. Some classes might have weekly quizzes on the readings. In that case, you would get graded for the readings that you're doing. But for other classes that also assign readings, they may never quiz you or grade you on the readings week per week, but those readings would come up on the midterm or the final exam. But week by week, it's not like they're checking to make sure that you're doing the readings or grading you on the readings, seeing if you took notes for the readings, anything like that. But it really is up to you to keep up to date with the class and keep up to date with those assignments, which would be the readings. Versus other classes in college that might be homework or problem set heavy, like math classes, for example, they may have you turn in these homework assignments weekly to your discussion section GSI, and then the GSI may grade the homework, but they might not be grading the entire homework, like all 10 questions or something like that, but they could be grading based on completion, just seeing if the homework looks done, or they may be grading grading your homework on accuracy. Did you answer the problems correctly? They might do a mix of both completion and accuracy for your homework, or they might even just select a few random questions out of the total number of questions as a way to give you a grade for the homework. So sort of similar to readings, if they're not grading every single question, it is really up to you to work through every question and understand every question, even if you're not technically getting a grade for it right now, but chances are that kind of question or problem or homework thing will come up again on a midterm or a final. Another big difference, I think, between high school and college would be in high school, your daily homework assignments sort of go over what you learned that day in the class, so it reinforces the material that you just learned. But in college, it really feels like the readings or problem sets, textbook questions that you're getting and having to answer for homeworks or assignments, they sometimes aren't necessarily going over the things that you talked about in class, but they're actually a way for you to apply what you learned in class. So they're giving you new situations, so you're learning on your own and teaching yourself. And so that's a really big difference, because you actually have to put a lot of time into the homework, because the homework isn't just going to be a copy paste of what you went over in lecture. And honestly, sometimes when you have to do readings or do practice problems for homework, sometimes the professor might not even ever mention that kind of problem or reading in class, but they may be talking about other things in class, but then that reading or practice problem might come up again on an exam. For a lot of college classes, you will probably be putting in a lot of time to sort of self-teach yourself the materials in addition to going to lecture and doing the homework and everything like that, because on these exams, they're not just testing you on baseline knowledge, but they're testing you on the application of that knowledge. So you really need to learn things inside and out and how you apply that knowledge on these tests. Speaking of tests, the next big difference between high school and college would be in terms of the tests or exams that you're taking. So in high school, you're probably taking a ton of little quizzes or tests throughout your quarters that add into your grade, and they're all very low stakes. Versus in college, you might have 1 to 3 really big exams or assignments that add up to make your entire grade. So really, I feel like in college, the day-to-day matters a lot less, but the day-to-day learnings, going to lectures, doing the assignments is what leads you to be successful overall when you're taking that 1 to 3 big exams or writing 1 to 3 big essays. So in college, these exams are way, way, way more stressful because they count for a lot more of your grade. So you could have a class where 30% of your grade is midterm 1, 30% of your grade is midterm 2, and then 40% of your grade is the final. So literally your entire grade is made up of 3 big tests that you're taking throughout the semester. Like I mentioned in another video, when I took Stat 20, the final exam was worth 60% of our grade. So if you wanted to hear a little bit more about classes and grading at Berkeley specifically, I'll have another one of my videos linked down below so you can learn about how grading works, how curving works, stuff like that. So that's a really big difference. It makes these tests a lot more stressful than they ever were in high school, because in high school you have a lot of different things that make up your grade, and it's not just like a few big tests that are going to make or break whether you have an A, B, or C in these classes. Another big difference between high school and college would be with time management and studying. You know, for a lot of us in high school, you probably had to spend time studying, but in college, you have to spend time studying. Personally, for me, I had to put so much time into studying in college. Like, it is nothing like high school studying, especially with those exams counting for so much of your grade. You need to put a lot lot of time into these tests to study for them. Like, you're not just going to be studying the night before an exam in college, but in high school, like, I would just study the night before a high school test and then score fine on that test. But that kind of thing does not work in college. Like, I would start studying for these big tests 1 or 2 weeks in advance and put so much time into them in order to get the grades that I wanted in these classes. Additionally, in college, in terms of time management and studying, you have so many more distractions than you do in high school. For example, in college, you're probably living in the dorm. The dorm has a ton of distractions. You are living with your friends. You are living on the floor with a bunch of friends. They are maybe always in the lounge. People are always screaming. So you have a lot of different things pulling at you for your time and for your energy, because your neighbors or your roommates may be like, let's go hang out now, but you have a big test tomorrow, so you have to have the willpower in order to say no to people. Sorry, I can't hang out, I have to study. Another big thing in terms of college studying, you have distractions all around you. It could be really, really hard to focus, and you don't have your parents always around telling you, hey, you need to study right now. So in college, in terms of time management and studying, it really is up to you in order to get things done and study as much as you need to for these tests. So if you're looking for more tips on time management and organization, I'll have a few of my other videos linked down below in terms of those topics. And so speaking of things always being up to you in college, my last point of differences between high school and college would be, in college you have a lot more freedom. So like I said, everything is really up to you. You create your class schedule. You decide if you're going to go to class or skip all of your lectures. You decide when you're going to eat versus not eat. You decide when you have free time, when you're going to hang out. You decide what you do with that free time, which is a lot less structured than in high school, where you're taking classes 6 hours and then you go straight to an after school activity. But every single day in college, it is up to you to decide what you're going to do that next day. You know, you don't have anyone hand holding you. Like I said, you don't have your parents always around telling you things, and your professors, even though they care about their students, they are not going to hand hold you either. They're not going to track you down and ask you why you're missing all of the classes, but they will just see your test scores at the end of the day. In college, it truly is up to you to make decisions and make good decisions that are going to set you up for success. So those are some choices and freedoms that you are going to be dealt when you get to college, because there are so many distractions around, especially when living in the dorms, that it can take a little bit of time to get used to having all of these other people around. So yeah, these were some major differences that I've noticed going through high school and going through college. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions, and also definitely let me know if you have any other video topics that you would want me to talk about in an upcoming video. So with that, definitely give this video a big thumbs up to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. Thank you all so much for watching. It really, really means a lot, and I will see you all next time.